I think children need to be protected from screens because screens capture the attention and it releases the need for the child to be able to develop mastery over attention.
So, what would you say are the main skills a child needs to develop in order to be successful in long-term educational efforts? So, this is like educational versus, you know, general character.
Yeah, so in optimal work, we talk a lot about mastery over your attitude, over your attention, and over your actions. Yeah, and so what that looks like then is learning how to practice reframing challenges so you can see there's something here that's beautiful. There's something here I can grow in. I can get better at this. So that is the ability to see challenges in a positive way, to see challenges as a puzzle that can be taken apart and then mastered bit by bit. That is probably the number one meta skill. The second one is the development of the attention span. To have mastery over attention. For adults, we can do that in lots of ways. We can practice mindfulness and different ways of recollecting ourselves. We can practice silence and prayer. So the foundations of that have to be laid when children are young and learning how to protect attention. That means particularly making sure that they're not overexposed to things that would fragment attention. So anything that the child would mindlessly do is against mindfulness. So it's against this mastery over attention. So think of the difference between imaginative play between two kids, that's all imaginary, versus two children separately playing on an iPad. And so you can see that so that second setting is so common, but screen time is as a deficit to the actual mindfulness ability of the child. Yeah. And so, I mean, I think children need to be protected from screens because screens capture the attention and it releases the need for the child to be able to develop mastery over attention. So in an ideal world, the way children would overcome boredom would not be through ever more easy entertainment, but it'd be through longer and longer attention spans fueled by greater curiosity. They would learn to have more curiosity about the world around them to investigate, and more curiosity about how to make this game more fun and play it in the neighborhood, and do things where you're engaging very actively, learning social skills and learning other skills, learning whatever it might be. I would love to see if children can be allowed to develop their attention spans. That would be an incredible advantage for all learning for the rest of life. So, but easy time on screens, that definitely is giving the wrong message. It means that novelty is the solution to the attention problem, rather than seeing attention as a muscle that grows with practice. In general, we always want children to see their brain is like a muscle that grows with practice. Intelligence itself is a muscle that grows with practice. Children become more intelligent by better exercising their brain. Every skill in some ways, like learning how to do, is like a kind of muscle memory that the brain is developing. Boredom is the cure for ADHD. That boredom is, ADHD, I think, is when boredom has become aversive. But when boredom can be welcomed as like a conduit, just something you pass through as you're deliberately growing at something. So if they could reframe boredom, if they could reframe the awkwardness of learning new things, of feeling like they're not yet good at something, that would be an incredible foundation for building any skill in the rest of life.